So you saw the title. Are the Detroit Lions honestly pursuing another quarterback? And the answer is yes. Yes, they are. And it's a name that a lot of us thought about. A lot of us thought, like, hey, we should go out and get him early on. And he's a guy that hasn't signed with anybody yet, and that is Teddy Bridgewater. And I think a lot of people would love to see Teddy Bridgewater come in here. In fact, if I'll bring you all the way back, and then we'll talk about what this means for the team, what this means for our agenda, what this means for the belief of what this team can be this year. So let's start here, though. If you remember all the way back when the Detroit Lions were trading Matt Stafford, one of the trades that a lot of people talked about was a trade that would bring Teddy Bridgewater back to Detroit. We ended up going with the Rams, and we traded for Jared Goff and not Teddy Bridgewater. And I think a lot of people wondered, like, who would be better, right? Because Goff had the huge contract, but I think a lot of people thought he's a better quarterback. Teddy Bridgewater had a smaller contract, so maybe it was more movable and would allow us to kind of draft another quarterback in the future. Well, here's the deal. They're not close anymore. Jared Goff is by far a better quarterback, but Teddy Bridgewater is widely considered a top 5, if not the best backup quarterback option in the NFL. He would be a bottom 5 starting quarterback, but he is a top 5 backup quarterback. You can't argue that. You can't argue that. And he absolutely came in for a visit. Dan Campbell confirmed the Lions' interest in Teddy Bridgewater. He said it was a good visit. We'll see where it goes. He said, if we can add a guy like Teddy and bring competition to that room, I'm all for it. So we know Dan Campbell loves competition. Like, we know that about Dan. All right. So we know he loves competition. We know where he's going with it. But what we didn't realize is how in on it he is. Now, he did go to be the Dan Campbell, and he said, if we sign Teddy, we still have Nate. Whoever wins the competition will be better off for it because there'll be good competition there. First off, I love that he's just flat out saying competition in the backup room. He's not even bringing Jared Goff in it. Thank you. How many of us thought we'd be at this point a year ago? Like, we were all wondering, is Jared the guy? What does this look like? And fast forward a year, and we're like, yeah, Jared's the guy, right? Like, we're good with him at quarterback. The Lions seem to love him. We'll keep it going from there. But there's a lot of things that you can talk about with Teddy Bridgewater. So we said last year and the year before, we knew the Lions had a horrible quarterback room as far as backup quarterback goes. And we also said it doesn't matter. Like, because the Lions, if they lost Jared Goff, they didn't have the talent to win with a backup quarterback. So it was like, it doesn't matter. We're probably not going to be good. If we lose Goff, we're still not going to be good. So we may as well get a good draft pick. But that's different now. Like, everything has changed. This is a team that's going for it. This is a team that truly believes that they can win, that they can compete for the division, for the playoffs, and for the Super Bowl. And that's what Dan said. He said the fact that here we go, man. I love when he like half completes a sentence because you just know he's excited and he's got so many things going through that big brain of his. He said, we're year 3, and I think we're in a much better position. And you want to know that you're in the best hands possible. I'll leave it at that. But that's also, it's the competition. That doesn't mean that Nate's out of anything. If we go this route, and if it works out, you'll feel good about whoever comes out of the fire being the right guy to help you along the way. But yeah, we don't want the wheels to fall off. So here's what he's saying. If Goff gets hurt, we want to have a backup quarterback who can come in, win us games, and allow us to tread water. Cowboys did it last year. There's a lot of good teams that lose your quarterback. A lot of NFL quarterbacks get hurt for 1, 2, 3, 4 games during an NFL season. And when they're out, if your backup can come in and take a team that would be 11-6, 12-5, 10-7, and keep them 500, then that's a good sign. Like, that's a good sign. That's what we want out of this. So yes, they are absolutely looking at Teddy Bridgewater. Would I be upset if they signed Bridgewater? Absolutely not. I'd be thrilled. If we have the cap space and Bridgewater wants to come here and we want to have a great backup so we don't have to be worried every time Jared Goff goes and drops back, or every time he gets up slow, or when his shoulder's not feeling good, so he's not getting that spin right, or he's not getting a lot of kick on the ball. Like, yeah, I would love to have a good backup quarterback. And if they don't think that they have that yet, if they don't think Sudsy's the guy yet, bring in Bridgewater, make your team better, and make everybody more confident in what you have. It's an important thing. And but it's a little late in the process. So if he does come in, like, let's get him in now. Like, we got to get him here. We got to get him. He's been in a lot of offenses. He knows his way around this league, but let's get him adapted to this system, because that's the one thing I don't like. If you have a backup quarterback who's even just a pretty good player, if he's been on your team for 2, 3, 4 years under the same coordinator, under the same system, he's going to come in and he's going to be able to do things well. So Bridgewater has more talent. There's no doubt. Let's get him there. Let's see what we can do next. So let me know what you think. Are you all in for Bridgewater? If not, why not? Leave a comment and subscribe if you haven't yet. Thanks for watching. See you on the next.